Hi, my name is Kelly and I have 15 months clean. I didn't grow up in Torrington. I moved here in October 2018. I was using and I had been on the methadone program for about a year and a half. When I moved out here and switched to the root center, I was told I had to do IOP. I wasn't happy about this. The two other clinics I had attended didn't care what that I was using as long as I showed up every day. When I first started IOP, I felt like it was a waste of my time. But knowing in the back of my mind I had to stop using or I would get kicked off the program. So with that in mind, and being new to town and not knowing anyone, I got clean. When I finished IOP, however, I relapsed and failed my first urine. My counselor called a meeting with the head guy at the time and was put right back into IOP. So during my second time in IOP, I was getting fed up with the waiting game and running around that comes with using and having to wait days on end for people to drive all the way out to Torrington to come see me. On March 25th, 2019, I woke up and said, I'm done with the BS. And I haven't touched a single thing since that day. When I was using up, I kept hearing that I needed to change people, places, and things. Well, I had changed the people who I was hanging out with. I no longer had contact with them. I changed the places that by moving across the state, and I haven't been back since. And I had now changed the things. Like I stopped using, I stopped spending days on end trying to find stuff, and I had stopped doing things that got me into trouble. I needed to focus on myself. In 2017, I hit my lowest of lows. I lost my kids, my apartment, and I was in an abusive relationship. And I had lost the trust of everyone I knew. I deal with struggles every day, one of which is where I live isn't good for anyone in recovery as there is drug activity, and I always hear about it all the time. I struggle when I go see my kids because even though I'm their mom, it isn't my house or my roles, and sometimes that bothers me. Another struggle I have is dealing with back pain. The old me would ask for narcotic painkillers, but I haven't, and I'm doing physical therapy instead to help heal my back. Even with 15 months clean, there are times where I still have cravings, but those cravings only last a few minutes. When I feel like I'm struggling, stressed, or having cravings, I start doing something to distract myself. For example, if someone says something to me that gets me upset or pissed off, I'll pull out my journal and write about any and everything that's on my mind. Some other things I do is listen to music, draw, paint, go for walks, text my mom, write. I'll do whatever it takes to get my mind off of what's bothering me. When I was in IOP, we made these boxes and we wrote down coping skills and put them in our boxes to help us through difficult times. I put a picture of my kids on mine and had since added some coping skills. Another thing that helped me in early recovery was to simply write on my hand the biggest reason why I wanted to get clean, which was my kids. So when I felt like giving up, all I had to do was look at my hand and remind me why I was doing this. I'm not only doing this for myself, but for my kids can have a mother, and so that they can see that you can overcome anything you put your mind to. My struggles will always be here, and I will not let them define me. Everyone will always encounter struggles, so you just have to stay positive and have a support system, even if it's only one person, someone who you can talk to. When I write down what's bothering me, I feel like I'm getting it off my chest. I have learned not to hold anything inside. I was very angry in the past, but I am learning to talk things out instead of getting angry and fighting. I found it's okay to be angry, sad, mad, as long as you express it in a healthy way, instead of holding it in and letting it eat away at you. These coping skills that you are taught really do help you when you're struggling. I don't really think about using them because it comes naturally to me now. I just live for today and take one day at a time. I try not to focus on what happened yesterday and just worry about today. I try to remind myself that my worst day was the day that I was using, and no matter what happens today, it will never be as bad as my worst day. Thank you for listening.